Hello, fellow embodied spirits. Today we are going to talk about entities. So, most of you probably have an idea of entities that comes from the movie The Exorcist, and you may think that those are the only cases of that extreme entity possession. But I wanted to explain that almost everybody you know has some form of entity attachment. And there are many stages of entity attachment. Some of them are much more subtle, but when an entity is present in your field for a very long time, it becomes embedded. And I've worked with people who have carried them for a very long time, and they become extremely attached to the entity and actually have difficulty letting go because they've been so familiar with its influence that they actually start believing that it is a part of their personality and a part of who they are. So what are entities? Entities are lower dimensional beings who are feeding off of the negativity in your life, and they are dark spirits. They tend to take on different forms. Some of the lower consciousness, weaker ones are kind of amorphous, and they can take on colors like red, dark burgundy, black, gray, and some of them are more fluid than others. I have also been face to face with very strong demons in the past, and I've had bat-like gremlins come at me and stare at me, making my blood run cold. When I've worked with people removing them, I've had creatures, when they exit the person's field, completely take over my office and expand to such a degree that they're extremely massive. On one occasion, I was downtown San Diego working on a client, and I looked out the window and I saw a man, as if he was like a dangling marionette, hopping down the street, and then over him was this 20-foot creature, this dark shadow demon that was puppeteering this homeless man down the street, and his body was like flopping as if somebody was controlling him. I couldn't believe it. So there are so many ways that you can catch these things, and you don't necessarily have to be doing anything terrible. You can have somewhat of a depressive mindset. You can encounter somebody who has these things and then really try to help them, and the energy comes onto you. I had to learn by necessity how to remove these things because I started my career as a body worker, and from time to time there were people who would walk into my office and it looked like they had a gray shadow over their faces. And then at the end of the session, they would walk out happy and light, and I would come home and I would be in excruciating pain, extremely wiped out, tired, and the pain would persist until I removed the entity. So one time it was with me for I want to say 6 months. There was no amount of body work. There was no amount of acupuncture, chiropractic work that could get me out of this pain. I was in such physical, fiery, burning pain for that duration of time. And that's what forced me to seek out help on the spiritual level. And initially I had to find a prana healer, and she was the first person who successfully removed it. But eventually I had to figure out for myself how to remove the entities. And so I am here to assist, to guide you in case you are going through something like that. And some of the signs that you have an energetic entity are thoughts that are beyond your control, that are negative, condescending, in a very foul language that is uncharacteristic of yourself. So you could be doing something and then you hear this really nasty narrative talking down to you. That is a sign that a dark energy is present. The other one one I actually mentioned before is unbelievable spiritual pain that has no physical explanation, and then no amount of drugs, of therapies can actually touch this pain or remove it. Another one is this horrible feeling that something's around you, that something's either watching you. If you're alone, you feel a presence, you feel paranoid, and you feel like something is influencing you. And I'm sure there are more that I'm not mentioning, but definitely depressive thoughts, anger, just emotions, expressing emotions that are uncharacteristic of yourself, that have a sudden onset and also feel like you can't control them. So how do we remove entities? This was something I had to figure out, and then I had to study quite extensively through various energy modalities, shamanic practices, introspection, prayer, asking for guidance. And eventually I created a method for consistently moving entities out of the body. And then eventually I was told that I need to start doing this for other people. And since then, I've been offering the shamanic work in my practice. So the first thing you need to do is be able to track the energy. Tracking the energy means that you put your awareness on something and you see it through to completion. And this technique, or this skill, is trained by Tibetans, by Buddhists, by Hindus, and you develop the skill by practicing meditation, practicing mantra repetitions, practicing Tratakum meditation, where you gaze at a single point or at a flame or the center of a gong, and you keep your mind focused on that point. Once you have cultivated a pretty good tracking ability, then you can scan your body and lie down in a comfortable place. Make sure that you are breathing freely, and then ask your body to become the gateway for the shamanic work, and ask your body to reveal anywhere the energy feels stuck, like it's not moving, feels heavy, feels just not right, not like yourself. And then once you identify that area, you ask for the energy to step forward and step out of your body. Now, I want to say that it could also be an energetic cord. It could also be a soul contract or a soul loss that you're picking up on. But almost 100% of the time, the first thing when you begin this process is the entity that shows up. Those are the strongest and heaviest interferences in your light field. Those are the biggest interferences in your life. So I recommend beginning with the entity removal and holding in your awareness the entity, asking it to step forward out of your body and reveal itself, reveal its face. And oftentimes you will see the face, the outline, a texture, a color. Sometimes they show up in the form of animals or slithering snakes, and their form will tell you a lot about what their influence is. Some of them show up as a mechanical object, and that tells you that it's mechanical, repeated behavior that is ingrained. Or it will show up as a veil of darkness, and you know that it's clouding your memory, it's covering, it's preventing you from seeing the truth. Those are skills that I have learned over the years to read the essence of the entity, and I can adequately describe to my clients what its influence is, and they confirm during the session exactly as I say what the entity is revealing to me. So those are skills you'll learn eventually. Now, once you have the entity identified and pinpointed, you want to call in all your masters, teachers, and loved ones, ascended masters, and ask them to carefully cradle this energy and take it to the central sun and properly dispose of the energy. Now, as you breathe, you're going to expel the energy from your body. You're going to tell it, thank you for all the lessons that you've taught me. Thank you for all of the challenges, all the way you've helped me grow. And just release it with your love and gratitude. And then mentally affirm that it is no longer welcome to stay in your body, in your mind, in your emotions, in your field, or in your life. And see it through. Continue to focus your awareness on the entity and make sure that it is ascending and leaving from your field, from your body, and making sure you see that the ascended masters receiving this energy and neutralizing it. Okay, and upon the sense of completion, you will feel lighter. But one of the things that I want you to understand about these entities is when the consciousness of the entity begins to leave, they leave this trail or tail, and that has to unravel from your body. And depending on how long that energy has been with you, it entangles around certain organ systems. It can go around the spinal cord, different muscles in your body. So as you're watching this energy become removed, you have to track that every little thread of its root system also leaves your body. So this may take 10 minutes or longer for you to breathe and to watch and track and untangle that thread by thread from your body and from your system. When the process is complete, you'll feel a lightness and you'll see the last bit of energy pulling out, or feel the last bit of energy pulling out. You want to connect to your central midline and invite the breath of life that comes from the universe into your central midline and expand through your whole body, through every cell, and using that white light to fill up and completely burn any residue and completely heal, restore, repair any energy gap that was left by the entity. And then once your body is nice and full of the white iridescent light, you're going to expand that far beyond your body to fill your electromagnetic field and fill your aura completely with that white iridescent light. Once you expand out into your energy field, then you're going to focus on what I call the shell of your electromagnetic field, the very outer membrane. And you're going to visualize that completely filling up and completely sealing, repairing, creating a protective force field around you. And this just ensures that you are protected now from them entering into your body, into your field again. Okay, so those are the steps, and I think it's important for everybody to have this tool, because sometimes you can't get to a prana healer. Sometimes you find healers, but they don't know how to remove entities, or you're far away and you have nobody around to help you. I've seen these things get removed in prayer circles. So if that's a resource, you can always use the group energy when everybody's in prayer holding hands, and then ask your guides to remove them out. That is another way. But if you are struggling with something like this and you don't quite know how to go about it, I am available to help, and I'll list my contact information down below so that anybody who is really struggling can contact me. We can do a remote session. I'll be able to see into your field, and I'll be able to ensure that the energy leaves and that we take the necessary precautions to protect you from them in the future. So anyway, that's my talk today, and I hope you guys find it helpful. I hope that you guys can draw some information, some useful skills from this, and please comment below. Let me know if you've had interactions with entities in the past, if you've seen demons, if you've seen dark spirits. Please comment below. I love to hear everybody's experiences, and I'm really into the metaphysical, the paranormal, so I look forward to reading those later. Anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you soon. Bye.